name's Stan Taylor, and I am chair of the Peace Center at Lane Community College. And amazingly enough, this is our 7th annual Peace Symposium here at Lane. There's information in your program about the Peace Center on page 10. And how about these programs produced by Ruth Wren with art by Tom Madison? The Peace Center not only puts on these events, but we have programs for peace education at the college. The Peace Center itself, to put these events on, is not supported through the general fund of the college, so we do lots of work to keep ourselves afloat. So we really appreciate any gifts that you can give us in terms of donations. It helps us along the way. The second thing I'd like to talk to you about is this longhouse. Isn't it an incredible space? Couldn't be a more appropriate space for a symposium that relates to climate change and social justice. Yeah. This longhouse is built with the help of the Federated Tribes of Oregon. All of this huge cedar trunks that you see in here comes from native lands in Oregon. This building deserves lots of reverence and respect, so please make sure you understand that it is a sacred space. A few housekeeping things. The bathrooms, the men's bathroom is on this side, and the women's bathroom over here. There is food later today at lunchtime. It will be available for purchase in the cafeteria in the center building, which is the main building in the center of campus. Or there is also a juice bar right next door in building 30 that will also have food today, and we'll have food there tomorrow as well. At 12:30, when we finish this session, there'll be a book signing afterward where you can get books signed by John Perkins, our keynote tonight, and John Symes, one of the keynotes this morning, and materials from Good Shield Aguilar and the music that he's producing as well. So look for that at 12:30 in the awning by the health building, building 30, right after this session. We have many sponsors that we need to thank. If you look on page 7, a lot of generosity from different groups this year. Where to start? The Office of Professional Organizational Development and Diversity Office here at Lane Community College, the Institute for Sustainable Practices, the Eugene Weekly for partnershiping with us in this event and being a sponsor, the Faculty Professional Development Office for making contributions, and extraordinarily generous contributions from the student body, ASLCC, and the Council of Clubs. This event would not be possible without the generous help of the students of Lane Community College. And another student group that helped us to organize and put the word out for this event is Osberg, so we want to thank them as well. And there are many people to thank. Our President, Mary Spieldy, here in the room. It was about 8 years ago that she and I discussed a joint vision for a peace center here at Lane and moved it into a set of discussions that later became a reality the next year. So thanks to the support for the college that they give the Peace Center, it's greatly appreciated. The program that you see in front of you, the posters that you see, were designed by Tom Madison of the Graphic Arts Department here at Lane Community College. The food services at Lane Community College helped us to put this event together, and the food that you'll be able to get at lunchtimes will come from them. Organically Grown Company provided the fruit to us as well. So all those people deserve acknowledgement for what they provided to us. And then you may have noticed we have some incredible art here today. The pieces hanging higher on the walls, they're part of a series from a local artist, a muralist named Esteban Camacho Stephenson. And this series is part of a series that he painted specifically to think about an ecozoic era, that is an era after this era that is organized around ecological principles. So take a close look at these paintings. They're really incredible. And then this set of paintings up front is done by James Florendo. And James Florendo is actually the steward of the Longhouse here at Lane. And he's back here at the back side of the room. And if you really look at this art, you'll see how it is a manifestation of the universe being channeled through James, right, as part of what he's doing. So I'd also like to introduce the Peace Committee here at Lane Community College. And we've had an incredible group of people this year. As you might imagine, students flow through, and we've had just amazing people as students being part of this event. So would the Peace Committee please come forward? So we have Emily Aguilera, Susie Kusar, Kristen De La Rosa, Amy Gadia, Sarah Lucia, Dean Middleton, who couldn't be here today, unfortunately, Anthony Molinari, Sarah Pisciarineri, Patsy Rainey, Suzanne Williams, and Ruth Wren. One of the things that's happened here on campus this year is the campus has begun to move towards a much more robust cultural fluency policy. And we at the Peace Center want to endorse that policy. There is a statement in your program on page, sorry, need to find it. I know it's in here. Page 9. And we'd like Sarah Lucia to come forward and read that statement for you.
Let's see here. Good morning. Can folks hear me? All right. Closer. All right. Is that better? Okay. So as Stan said, earlier this year, there was the board decided that we needed a new policy, which they instructed our president, Mary Spieldy, to develop, implement, and monitor to move the cultural competency and diversity awareness forward at Lane. And this policy represents the fruition of nearly 2 decades of work from countless Lane faculty, staff, and students, many of whom are with us today, I'm sure, who have been and remain committed to ensuring that Lane provide everyone on campus with continual opportunities to build and expand their cultural competency and to ensure that Lane lives up to its stated core values and its mission. Lane's Peace Center Committee sees its work as part of this larger mission of supporting cultural competency across campus and in our community. As we wrote in our statement supporting the policy passed by the board, the Lane Peace Center recognizes cultural competency as a key foundational component for a peaceful society. Historic and contemporary cultural oppression and the vibrant, fluid nature of ever-changing cultural paradigms necessitate that cultural competency is a lifelong pursuit. This is especially true in the face of a global society where the lines between cultures, traditions, and beliefs are growing increasingly fuzzy and difficult to navigate, and are shifting more rapidly than ever before. It is our belief that to ensure Lane Community College's place as an inclusive, welcoming campus in this global society, each of us must be willing to engage in this continual pursuit of cultural competency. Over the next 2 days, the Peace Center will host the 7th Annual Peace Symposium as a way to invite students, faculty, staff, as well as those from the communities surrounding campus to engage in open and honest conversations about oppression, power, cultural paradigms, diversity, and privilege that are necessary components of building and expanding cultural competency and fostering peace. As we begin the symposium, we, the Peace Center Committee, wish to be open and honest, acknowledging our own forms of power and privilege that result from our economic, racial, and educational advantages. We also wish to acknowledge that many of the speakers that you will see and hear over the next 2 days share these advantages. We decided to call attention to this as we were planning the symposium because we wanted to encourage symposium attendees, including ourselves, to critically engage with issues of power and of privilege. Such conversations are often the most difficult and painful to engage in, resulting in issues of power and privilege being the elephant in the room in movements of social justice, peace, and equality. Dr. Frances Kendall, author of Understanding White Privilege, Creating Pathways to Authentic Relationships Across Race, explains this in a way in a piece titled How to Be an Ally If You Are a Person with Privilege, published on the Seattle Community Network website. Kendall writes, "Those of us who have been granted privileges based purely on who we are born, as white, as male, as straight, and so forth, often feel that we either want to give our privileges back, which we can't really do, or we want to use them to improve the experience of those who don't have our access to power and resources. One of the most effective ways to use our privilege is to become an ally of those on the other side of the privilege seesaw. This type of alliance requires a great deal of self-examination on our part, as well as a willingness to go against the people who share our privileged status and with whom we are expected to group ourselves. So today, we stand before you as allies, aware of our own power and privilege, but also wanting to negotiate positive, meaningful roles in a movement toward a just, sustainable, culturally competent, and peaceful society. And we wish to extend our warmest welcome and thanks to you for joining us here today to engage in deep, critical, and thoughtful conversations about how to awaken and create a new dream for ourselves and for our society."
I should say that Sarah made the first draft of this statement, so most of that writing actually belongs to her. Thank you a lot, Sarah. I realized that I did forget to thank one very important person, and that's Randy Painter, who was with the audio-visual crew here at Lane. You know, it's amazing. Over the years we've put these symposiums on, and over the past couple of years we've live streamed them, and we've had at different times over 8,000 people live on the live stream while the symposium is taking place, and that's all due to the audio-visual department bringing that capability to the event. So thank you a lot, Randy. You guys can get around. You guys can go. So it's interesting, the theme of this event, the Bringing the Pachamama Alliance and Move to Amend here is kind of core groups where we're talking about the circumstances that we're in, understanding that the dream that we are living is not sustainable, and the need for a new dream to move us into a new era. And as I was getting ready for this event, I happened upon a book called Moral Ground, Ethical Action for a Planet in Peril, that is a set of short essays by some of the most influential people in the world about this topic. So I thought I'd introduce this topic today by reading a passage from Thich Nhat Hanh called The Bells of Mindfulness. The bells of mindfulness are sounding. All over the earth, we are experiencing floods, droughts, massive wildfires, sea ice is melting in the Arctic, and hurricanes and heat waves are killing thousands of people. The forests are fast disappearing, the deserts are growing, species are becoming extinct every day, and yet we continue to consume, ignoring the ringing bells. All of us know that our green planet is in danger. Our way of walking on the earth has a great influence on animals and plants. We act as if our daily lives have nothing to do with this condition in the world. We are like sleepwalkers, not knowing what we are doing or where we are headed. Whether we can wake up or not depends on whether we can walk mindfully on our Mother Earth. The future of all life, including our own, depends upon steps that we can take. We have to hear the bells of mindfulness that are sounding all across the planet. We need a kind of collective awakening. There are many among us, and men and women among us, who are awakened, but it is not enough. We have to have another dream, the dream of brotherhood and sisterhood, of loving kindness and compassion, and that dream is possible right here and right now. So we are very fortunate today to have two wonderful artists with us, part of Seventh Generation Rising, Good Shield Aguilar and Mignon Gele, and they're going to play some music for us to consecrate the event. So welcome to the front of the room here.
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Good Shield, and music together for, I don't even know, 4 years, 3 years?
Almost 4 years.
Off and on. Mostly on lately. Anyway, it's funny, the number 7 keeps coming up, like everywhere we've been going for this whole year, like as soon as 2014 hit. So this being the 7th gathering, it's no, and the word coincidence too, I'm starting to learn now that nothing is random. And as far as the word coincidence, a coinciding is nothing to take lightly. Everything is for a reason. People who come into our lives, even if it's really brief, we'll always be connected with them. And that's how the dream realm kind of works. And in my culture, we say the first thing that ever was or is and still is, will always be, was this heartbeat. And that heartbeat became a dream. And those dreams became the first, things that were created, the stars, the cosmos. And those dreams eventually came to, even today, like even a plastic bottle, somebody had to think about that, And even though to us, in our perceptions, plastic is toxic, it's still made from the same minerals that come from the same earth. All those things, it's just a manipulation of that energy. So everything, everything. What we're learning right now, especially with these young people being born right now, I feel like they're being born awake, So I'd like to start out with this song here. This is just an honor song, and I'd like to ask if people would stand up and just recognize our two-leggedness on this place we call Earth.
Hey,
Ilamiya, thank you. Okay, you can sit now. Simon didn't say, hey. We're gonna play a song here. This is it's actually an old, it's called Lakota Lullaby, but I'm gonna put some spoken word to it. The promised land of the people, an immense reservoir for the rain of stars, fire and sun, emerald fields, and azure sky. The land is the alpha of the four winds, where heaven and earth become one. Its God is the sun, marching westward on blue peaks. And through a mirage of crystal, through its beautiful reflections, the people march on. Awake. May the dream begin again from its dormant state, as the great floodwaters have now parted. Rebirth is imminent, turbulence inevitable, but it is the way of creation and perpetual balance, chaos and beauty. Awake now and carry the responsibilities of endlessness, messengers of timelessness. Carry the dreams of the past, for they are the dreams of our ancestors who belong to the future, and will welcome you around the fire of destiny. Beta, Owe Hankeshni. Thank you. We're gonna do one more. This is there's no words to this one, but we call it Stampede. So we'd have pictures of buffalo running really fast, but we'll have to imagine that right now. This is called Stampede. Thank you very much. Thank you.